Welcome to the Partnership Economy. This podcast explores the power of partnerships through candid conversations with industry leaders. Join our hosts, Dave Yovanno, CEO, and Todd Crawford, co-founder of unpack.com, as they unpack the future of partnerships as a lever for scale and an opportunity to put the consumer first.
Welcome to the Season 3 finale of the Partnership Economy podcast. I'm your host, Todd Crawford, and today I'm sitting down with an old friend of mine and a fellow affiliate marketing veteran, Brooke Schaaf. Brooke has over 2 decades of experience, starting his career immediately after college at a young Zappos.com. He founded and sold the agency Schaaf Partner-Centric and is now the co-founder and CEO at FMTC, originally known as For Me to Coupon. In his free time, you can find Brooke at his home in Austin, Texas, with his wife, chickens, bees, goats, goat kids, and human kids. In today's discussion, we'll hear how his team at FMTC approaches brands on the value of coupons, incrementality, understanding why consumers abandon their carts, and developing a good coupon strategy while working with publishers and commerce content partners. This was an exciting conversation, and I hope you enjoy. Brooke, welcome to the Partnership Economy podcast. It's great to have you on.
Thank you, Todd. It's great to be on.
You and I go back a long ways. We've been in the industry together, crossed paths constantly. But for everybody else listening that might not be up to speed, I'd love for you to just walk us through, before we jump into For Me to Coupons and what that does, but really just what got you into the affiliate partnership space and what's your journey been?
I pretty much stumbled into the affiliate space looking for a job out of college. My brother had a job at an incubator funded by the famous and now late Tony Hsieh. And in that incubator was a young Zappos.com. So I got a job as a marketing coordinator and took to affiliate marketing like a duck to water.
Yeah, I remember those days. That was what year was that? Was that like 2000?
2000, yep. Over 20 years ago.
And so you did that, and then you moved on and started your own agency. Am I correct?
Yeah, so I got recruited to work in-house at a couple other companies, learned a lot, including some painful lessons, and then continued my experience of tripping and stumbling into the next phase of my life by starting an agency with the aforementioned brother. It started out as Schaaf Consulting, became Schaaf Partner-Centric after we acquired Partner-Centric, one of the earliest agencies or OPMs as they used to be called. And then that was sold some years ago to our first employee.
Yep, they're partnered with Impact. We work with them closely. And then, well, I think actually simultaneously, FMTC was created.
Right. FMTC came out of a partnership that we had. It was a woman named Connie who had a coupon site and saw how many more coupon sites were coming online. It's wave after wave throughout the years. Since she was not in a great competitive position reaching consumers, but she knew that it was difficult to handle the data inventory. And so the concept of FMTC was born, and it took off immediately, and we're still running it today. So that business started at the end of 2007. So it has been a good run, and we continue to grow.
So, right. So it's For Me to Coupon. Everybody abbreviates it FMTC. What is the main solution that you provide? And I guess who's your customer?
So our core customer is an enterprise affiliate, mostly the coupon or deal guys and the reward guys. And then we also sell to some of the commerce content guys out there. The problem that we solve is that our customers, our subscribers, want to have high quality data to improve their user experience, i.e. the customers that shop on their sites and continue through to the merchants. The problem is that the merchants, with thousands and thousands of merchants, and FMTC has close to 20,000 merchant integrations, the data is entered incorrectly. So the landing page doesn't work, the coupon doesn't work, the label is written incoherently, et cetera. So we actually have a manual team of dozens of human beings who go through this all day, every day to clean up the data. So we test it, we normalize it, we standardize it, and then we distribute it. You don't have to work with FMTC, but if you want to provide a quality user experience, you have to clean up the data yourself then.
Okay, so we got all that cleared up, so everybody knows who you are and what FMTC is. Let's dive into everything coupons, because I think I always kind of see 3 groups of retailers that work with coupons or don't. And from the consumer's perspective, everybody wants a deal. it's a no-brainer. Like I don't want to pay full price. And I think most brands promote that there's a chance there's a coupon out there in the checkout, right? I mean, there's usually a field that's blank. It says if you have a coupon code, go ahead and put it here, which obviously from a human perspective, I think there's a chance I could get a deal. So now I need to find that deal. I need to go look for it. So that stops the checkout process, and the consumer typically does a search in Google. Hey, I want, brand plus coupon to see if there's any out there. I'm no fool, right? I want a deal. And when we look at brands, they're I always see them as falling into three groups. I love coupons. We can drive a lot of sales. We can use it as a lever to hit end of quarter or end of week or even end of month sales goals. And, especially a lot of the direct to consumers seem to have that as almost part of their business model, that, you would get a discount. There's obviously brands that feel that MSRP is the price everyone should pay, so they're not doing coupons. And then I think there's kind of the largest group of retailers that are somewhere in between there. They have mixed feelings about them, kind of damned if they do and damned if they don't.
Yeah, so just a quick point of clarification. I think most of your listeners probably know this already, but the coupons that we deal with are retail coupons. So you got the big box guy or the little box guy online selling widgets. Those are the coupons we deal with, and not just coupons, but category sales, gifts with purchase, BOGOs, etc. As opposed to like grocery coupons, which are sort of a set.
Free shipping.
Free shipping is a big one. And so in that retail space, you're dealing with basically economics 101, right? So you've got the supply curve, you've got the demand curve. Some of the buyers will buy, but they'll buy at a lower price than you might like to sell for. And as a retailer, you just have to deal with that reality of human nature. Now, you can draw a line in the sand and say, hey, our prices are full price all the time. But pretty much nobody does that. There's almost always some form of discounting that comes into play. So if you look at higher end retailers that are typically not thought of as discounters, like Apple's a good example. At the right time of year, like Black Friday, they will do a cash gift card or credit for Apple. That's a form of discounting that could be advertised. And so I think first you have to kind of settle in with this emotional reality. And it's emotional on the seller side. It's also emotional on the buyer side, right? So the seller would love to sell everything, like you said, for MSRP all day, every day. The buyer would probably love to get some real discount all day, every day. And each buyer is also sort of like unique. A quick detour here that's worth noting is that the word history of the term coupon comes from sort of something being separated. That usage continues in the term of like, a financial coupon, like the kind of usage it gets on Wall Street. And I think that represents a sort of sense of emotional completion that's part of the buyer journey. Not for everybody. Not everybody uses coupons, but statistically, the vast majority of online shoppers do. It always shows up high in the statistics. And that's even higher among millennials, which makes a lot of sense because they're probably more sophisticated in an online environment. And, they probably have less money than older age cohorts. So if you're the brand and you're not engaging with the coupon ecosystem, you're basically leaving money on the table.
Yeah, and I think the other risk is the consumer's ready to buy. They would prefer a deal. And if they can't get a deal from you and your products and services are available from a competitor, and that competitor has a coupon, they can abandon cart and end up buying what they were looking for, or most of what they were looking for, from another competitor, right? So it's not just you didn't give them a discount, you didn't even get the revenue because they bought somewhere else. So I think it's kind of it's a fine edge. There's an art to it, right? Like you said, there's certain times and ways to present offers to consumers. I mean, I see a lot where you make your first purchase and in the thank you email, they say, here's a coupon to come back and buy, which I think is smart because now it's like, but personally, I sit there and go, I would have liked that first right now for the purchase I just made. But I get it. It's another hook. It's another reminder that there's a deal to be had if you come back and shop from us. I always hear, throughout the years at conferences and having conversations with brands and with publishers, that there seems to be blaming the coupon site because the customer's already in the cart. They do a brand plus coupon search and find a coupon. And they feel like, well, I was going to get that sale anyway. And you can't prove a negative, right? It's really impossible with data. I mean, you can show abandoned carts and you can show other things, but you can't. It's hard to show that was the reason. But it's human nature to think that might not be the best deal. There might be a better one out there. Maybe I should do the search.
Statistically, I saw one pop up recently. 65% of carts are abandoned. I find that stat pretty believable. I'm sure it's unique for each brand as well. And so you have to look at your own numbers, come up with, I think, something that is measurable for you that you can hang your hat on as the brand, as the person like sort of controlling this. And then within that system, realistically, you should be able to find some place where you're going to be able to sort of do this discounting because you're probably doing it already, right? You mentioned like those ladder discounts. Some of this couponing and discounting really touches on this gamification. It's almost like gamification, right? And it predates the internet. You have like all these points programs and people can win more points and they try and get people back then into the store as frequently as possible because the more people are in the store, the more people are going to spend. The more people are enticed to your site, the more they're going to spend. And it's sort of it's almost like a supplemental currency in a way that brings about that sense of like emotional completion. Not all your customers are going to play that game. Some people want it to be very cut and dry. They never join the loyalty programs. But for the ones who do, and I'm included in that group. I think you're included in that group. Most people I talk to are included in that group. And it's funny sometimes because I'll speak with people on the brand side who are very like down on coupons. And I'll say, well, do you do this? Do you do that? Do you look for a coupon? And they say, well, of course. And then I'll follow up. I'd say, well, does it occur to you that your customers are doing the same? And so that goes back to the idea that I think you're leaving money on the table. It can be very overwhelming, because I think the brands or the brand representatives, they don't want to feel cheated, right? And they don't want to feel like they're being foolish either. So you have to come to some kind of framework that works for you, that works for your company. But within that framework, you're almost surely going to be putting out offers. And again, as proof of that, these offers are on your webpage. So, a big issue is that a lot of merchants don't display the offers that they have on their webpage within the tracking platform, right? They're not sending them to impact.com, so they're not going out to the affiliates, which to me is insane because if you have a great offer or even a mediocre offer, you want it to get out there. Just to be blunt about this, your number one competitor who is very active in the space is probably Amazon.com. Amazon is very active with coupon and the reward sites. And they're very actively engaged with their publishers. Like sort of a slight detour, but I think it's worth mentioning is that if the coupon is a concept that gets the customer either out of the merchant shopping cart to another site, or that they come to the merchant site only through the other party, like the coupon site or reward site, then a similar term is anything around reviews. And on the topic of Amazon, Amazon has had for a while now their on-site publishing program, which actually shows, it's not coupons, but it's like best of, et cetera. And I think the concept there is they don't want people to leave the Amazon site. And I would urge merchants to consider that Amazon is a very savvy player in the space. And if they're doing something like this, like engaging very actively with the coupon sites, it's not out of the goodness of their heart. It's because the numbers prove themselves out.
If you're enjoying this podcast and want to learn how partnerships can help your business, visit impact.com, the world's leading partnership management platform.
Even a 5% coupon can move sales. It doesn't have to be a 50% off. There can be certain things that get people in the door because it's what you want is 50% off maybe, but we got a coupon of 10% on everything above that, or based on your order value. And I think driving AOV up is a no-brainer. I mean, every brand would love to. I think it's wholly defensible to say we had a 20% coupon and we had a 40% higher AOV because of it. Like, who's going to say that's bad for business, right? So I think brands are in general not really looking at it as a strategy, and it's more of we've just got to put some coupons out every now and then, right?
Yeah, there's three easy breaking points, right? So you mentioned one of the big ones, which is that the affiliate manager has to talk to the pricing manager, whatever title that is, and the pricing manager provides the deal. The affiliate manager has to add it to the tracking platform, and then it has to get to the affiliates. So FMDC solves actually the last mile of that. We have really great distribution with the power players in the space. We're trying to work out ways to help solve for the first couple steps, but that's outside of our control, your control. But we definitely want to see if we can do something to reduce the friction, so that more of that deal information can flow. Because it's content people are looking for, and if they don't find it, you're not going to win their business. As a personal example, a couple of years ago, I was looking for like this very particular pond part. We have a water feature in my house, and I would have gone to any company that sold pond supplies, which seemed largely to be sort of like brick and mortar guys that have posted a Shopify store, which I'm totally happy to support as a business. I could not find one. So anybody who had posted, even to your point, like the 5% discount, would have gotten my business.
This is that, like I said, that lack of sophistication or just a methodical testing, I think could go a long way, because then you get the whole management team bought in on the value of this, and that it's been tested and thought through, and we're going to continue to monitor and manage these. I think they're, like you say, you keep saying they're leaving money on the table, and I think this is just it's a lack of bandwidth. Maybe no one person in the company even owns it, right? And the affiliate team is certainly willing to test it because they have most of the partners that can promote coupons. But I don't think it's only brands that are making mistakes here in the coupon space. I see a lot of the affiliates from a consumer's perspective. Like, if a brand doesn't have a good coupon strategy, it's hard for me to know, other than I didn't find a coupon or a very good one. But they still might have a good strategy. It's just I fell through the cracks. But with publishers, I mean, personally, when I do the searches, I find a lot of coupons that don't work. And a lot of those coupon sites have little notes saying this was just used 8 minutes ago. And I try the coupon and it doesn't work. And I think that, to me, if I were a brand, I'd be very concerned about that, because that's a bad consumer experience. And that could cause them to not buy, right? There's coupons out there and they don't work. I'm mad. I'm leaving. Or I'm going to find somebody else. Or I finally found someone who did have a coupon that worked, and I'm going to use it. And, the mystery to me that I'm trying to solve, and I'm just playing dumb here because I think I really know the answer, is why do coupon sites have expired or coupons that don't work on their websites?
Yeah, this is really a sore point, right? I was at a kids' party a few weeks ago, and people ask me what I do. This comes up, and what often comes up is, I always look for coupons, but I'm disappointed because they don't work. And the hidden answer here, I think, is that the coupon sites are unfortunately incentivized to post as much content as possible, and it exists for different reasons, right? Some of it might be spider food. Some of it is certainly clickbait. You'll see literally 90% off for a company that would never have a 90% deal, right? Because of cost of goods sold. You're not going to see furniture at 90% off unless there's some crazy fire sale going on. It's very unlikely. Software, maybe you see that for software or a dating app or something like that. And so it's really a tragedy to commons, because it spoils an experience and creates customer frustration, and people are sort of incentivized for bad behavior. I think that the sort of silver lining to that might just be that over time, customers can learn to trust some sites more than others. And one thing about FMDC is, we distribute everything functional and by permission. So it's not stuff that's not for the affiliate channel. I wish, as I mentioned, that more stuff were for the affiliate channel. And I think that in a roundabout way, and I think you lose more than you gain here, you being the sort of like the affiliate channel overall. But in a roundabout way, it does help some companies, Slick Deals. They're not unique by any means, but they have a very active user community. They're very tuned into providing a very good user experience, and a lot of other sites are as well. So unfortunately, a few bad apples out there are spoiling things for the rest of us, and that it's a chain reaction, right? That affects impact.com. It inadvertently affects FMDC, certainly affects the customers out there, certainly affects the merchants, the agencies managing the merchant programs, and so on. And so I don't think at this time, unfortunately, that there is a great solution. but maybe some sort of improved awareness of the reputational management of coupons, or the ability to like validate a coupon for the users or something like that could help in the future. Do you have, curious to ask, do you have other suggestions for improving this issue, which I think really is a problem?
Yeah, I mean, I always used to use the example. I think a lot of brands get nervous about coupons because it's so easy for them to go where they didn't want them to go. Even just mailing snail mail coupons get on the internet. One-time use coupons get on the internet. I always used to say at conferences, if I were holding a ferret in my hand right now and that was a coupon and it was just meant for this person in the front row and I put it down on the ground, who knows where that ferret is now, right? I mean, you can't, I think there's this overall angst around lack of control. And that's, again, part of a more methodical coupon strategy, right? Where you understand that you are restricting, you're using negative keywords or coupon codes. These won't get credit. You've got exclusive coupons, vanity codes to influencers and to certain partners that can't bleed out. They can't be redeemed by other or promoted by other partners and get credit. So I think there's a lot of controls as part of this more sophisticated strategy that can be leveraged with the technology as well as the reporting. But again, it takes somebody to put together that strategy, run it, test it. It's not something you test in a week. It's something that probably takes months because there's, try these, try this, iterate. Okay, that worked, but we want to move over here with it now, and there needs to be kind of a plan that's followed and measured. And then you kind of get down to like these things worked best. Now let's get buy-in to use those. And we have the data to support it.
Yeah, and something else I would really recommend there would be more frequent expirations. I think you brought up a lot of great levers. And another one that I'm surprised is not used more often, because we actually did this way back when I was at shoes.com, so literally 20 years ago, is that if you have server-side tracking set up, those parameters come through, right? Like, parameter equals X. And you could program your backend to say, well, if the parameter equals X and the parameter being the affiliate ID, then initiate a discount. Because the more that you work with your partners, the more leverage you're going to have. And that also, it's a link activated discount. So somebody would actually have to wholesale take the link, which, they could do, but they can also take the link and the discount off of your homepage or out of your email or whatever it is. So exercise some of these controls, and I think you'll go most of the way to eliminating your frustrations if you're the brand.
Well, as we wrap up, there's one more thing that I want to just explore a little bit here, and that is the content commerce publishers, these large review, gift guide, listicle kind of online magazines like the Wirecutter and BuzzFeed. There's hundreds of these publishers out there now producing really thorough reviews, recommendations, gift guides. And that content, I think, it indexes well in search engines. Consumers love it. Brands love it, I think, because it's probably some of the most valuable real estate out there. I mean, you've got a third party evaluating your product or service and favorably. And now I think you were mentioning when we were talking the other day that they're starting to lean in to offering coupons and promotions alongside those reviews and recommendations. How do you see this evolving, or is it already full scale, or are we still just starting to see this?
No, we are only now just starting to see this. So this is very exciting for us, as you might imagine. Now, we do sell data to a couple of these guys, so we count them as subscribers. Some of them have sort of like coupon sections that we support. Others buy our ASIN matching products. So you send us your ASIN list, and we'll find the other merchants, like Walmart selling it, or some Shopify merchant that has an affiliate program elsewhere selling it. But what they're not currently doing is broad display of the coupon codes, which to me is crazy, because if you meet these guys, they're reps at a happy hour or something, they'll express concern about losing out on the deal. So it's not just the merchant site where somebody hops off to look at the coupon. It could be one of these content publishers, right? Oh, I want to buy those kitchen shears. I wonder if I can find a coupon for them. So they search for the merchant, or they search for the kitchen shears by product, and they might miss out on the commission. So this is a big long-standing top-of-funnel model funnel concern. For which it should be said, I don't think there is a good solution, no silver bullet, et cetera. You have to think about the different options and put in the effort and do as what's best possible if you're on the merchant side. But if you're on the publisher side and you're one of these commerce content guys, why on earth wouldn't you display the coupon data? You're more likely to see a click-through, you're more likely to see a conversion, and you're more likely to get credit for said conversion. And so I think what happened was there was this, if you go back 5 years ago, I don't know quite when this was beginning. It was certainly pre-COVID, but it takes years for this stuff to ramp up. There was a lot of excitement in our space about these guys coming on board, and now it's huge sources of revenue. I think I saw a stat in the last week or two that it's like a third of BuzzFeed's revenue. New York Times, which owns Wirecutter, got a bump in their stock price recently. Mike McNerney posted that, and it was attributable in part to how well Wirecutter is doing. Great content, great shopping experience, I would add. These guys had to do a lot to build out their infrastructure, get all the relationships going, and they do a lot of work to write these articles. And a very natural next step for me is that they consolidated their position, and those gains is to do a monetization play. And to me, and I may be biased, but this is the most likely monetization play. You could, for example, create a little sort of like icon adjacent to a merchant. You match the merchant ID for FMDC. That would be very easy. So you say, or you can say, hey, here's the network ID from impact.com. And then we match that to the merchant ID in FMDC. And then you run an API query and say, hey, is there a deal for this merchant? If so, that little display appears. And then the user is perhaps delighted to see that there's a deal, and then much more likely to make the purchase and again, see that commission get credited. So we've also talked to a potential channel partner about this. And so I think that you're going to see this unfold, not in like the next month, but I think over the next 6 months and a year. To me, it makes total economic sense. So we'll see how it goes, but we are feeling very enthused on our side for this. For us, FMDC sees a future with more deals going out to more publishing partners with greater frequency that is going to improve the experience from the point of seeing something on the publisher site all the way through the conversion event in the merchant shopping cart. And we're very much looking forward to being a part of that.
So what you're saying is coupons and deals aren't going away anytime soon.
It's they're here to stay, just like human nature.
Backing up a little bit, even as we wrap this up, I think they exploded. You probably saw this data in 2008 when the mortgage meltdown happened, and so many people had kind of a mini financial crisis with their 401ks and their stock holdings and their homes, and coupon kind of awareness online and redemption just shot through the roof. And once consumers get used to that, they don't stop. They don't go, I don't want a coupon anymore. I've had enough of those.
Yeah, absolutely. It was weird during COVID. We saw a surprising contraction. I think that was because a lot of merchants panicked. Some shut their affiliate programs down, canceled their agency contracts, which unfortunately indicates a lot of people out there in the decision-making chair still don't quite get affiliate, how the channel works, because you're paying for the revenue that comes in, and you as the brand are in the driver's seat. You turn the dials, and then you obviously have to go out there and negotiate in the marketplace. But then that coupon volume came back, and I think it's only going to go up in the future. It's sort of like it may seem like a slightly odd comparison point, but rewards cards were kind of a little bit of an oddity when they came back. Like reward credit cards, you get 1%, 2% back. You got the whole points thing. And now for a lot of people, it's the only card that they'll use. That's not 100% of the market, but it's a huge segment of the market. The same thing is true for coupons. Most people want to play this game. And are you going to be, as a brand, better off by playing the game with them or by trying to ignore it or otherwise not playing the game? I think it's almost certainly going to be the former.
Well, Brooke, I greatly appreciate all your insights here. Like I said, this coupon space has a lot of people that are excited about it, a few detractors, and a lot of people in the middle. And I think, by just understanding all the things that we talked about, all the moving pieces here, helps people kind of maybe reevaluate and hopefully, not bear down and maybe start doing some real testing and put together a more thought out strategy on how to leverage these better. If any retailers feel they're doing this really well, please reach out. I'd love to have you on the podcast. So that would be exciting as well. But hear somebody's feels like they've got it figured out and done a lot of work on this already.
Well, thank you, Todd. This has been great.
Well, we'll see you around. Thanks again, and take care. Understanding consumer behavior is vital if brands want to increase their chances of customer loyalty and purchasing. Consumers are looking for deals, and many small and large name brands will be smart to meet consumers where they are and offer promotions that can motivate them to purchase. Often, brands are in competition with Amazon and other brands that sell similar products to what they offer. In these instances, many consumers will choose the one that is more inclined to help the consumer in the buying process, whether that be through a deal or a coupon. If a brand does decide to use coupons, it's key to note that maintaining the validity of these coupons plays a large role in the consumer experience. More brands are leaning into promoting coupons alongside publications or commerce content. This can increase the likelihood of consumers sourcing deals from reliable sources and in turn increase their desire to complete the purchase. Coupons and deals are here to stay as long as consumers continue to search for them, and it could be a beneficial move for brands to develop a strategy around them if they want an upper hand against the competition. It was awesome to have Brooke share his insights on the show. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to next season.
Thanks for listening to The Partnership Economy, brought to you by unpack.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the show and rate and review it on Apple Podcasts.